Brothers and sisters, Mrs. and Misters, welcome once again to another episode of the Dented Cast. He's Max Bumgardner, I'm Dobie Maxwell, and you are an important part of this particular episode because we delve into topics that not everybody has the courage to do, and we look for a positive ending, and this is a difficult one to do. Today, our alphabet goes to the letter J. Jealousy is our topic.
I have struggled with jealousy since my earliest memories. How about you?
I really haven't. I have had people be jealous of me, and it's very difficult. So I think we're coming at it from two different point of views.
All right. Heads or tails?
I'll take heads.
You're on.
I'm on. Yes, in comedy is a very competitive business. Like a lot of sports is, entertainment show business, anything. There's a lot of competition, and you get to one level, and you see there are people that are just as good as you, and you have to fight your way to the next level, next level, next level. And there can be a lot of jealousy there because there's insecurity. There is inadequacy there. There are people that just are dented cans as well. Maybe they don't even know it, and they come after you because they want you. There's nothing a comedian wants more, from my experience, than for another comedian to literally die on stage so they can drag their smoking carcass off so the next comedian can come up and finish off their stage time, which is precious to get. And I happened to got into the Chicago comedy scene, and I got in with the top club there, and for many years, I was one of their go-to people. And there were comedians, there was two other ones, so there was basically the three of us, and 99% of the other comedians, the joke from them was they wanted the three of us to be in a car accident so we'd all die so they could all split up the stage time that we got. And I heard about Yeah, exactly right. And they did it in a joking and funny kind of a way, but there was a lot of jealousy that I sensed there, and I worked very hard to get that particular point. I talked to the club owner about it, who is since deceased, and he said, hey, you guys do the job for me. I know you as people. I can go to you. It's my club. I can do anything I want, which is totally true. And I've been on the other side of that when I wasn't the go-to person, but I wasn't necessarily jealous. Life is not fair. It isn't. So you've had it from your particular point of view, and I felt guilty almost being like, wait a minute, I didn't do anything wrong. I was just being myself, and I don't want to say it hurts, but it's uncomfortable when people are jealous of you. So now, how did you see? You said you had as a young age, you're jealous of others. Who were you jealous of?
I have had instances where people were jealous of me for different things in my radio career. Mm-hmm. I've even had people tell me recently that they were jealous of any success that I had. And I was a very average radio guy.
Boy, I'll say.
I was not that wonderful.
Boy, I'll say.
So, so I had people that were jealous. They were jealous of the money that I made. They were jealous of maybe awards that I was given they didn't feel like I deserved.
Would you agree that people, when they are jealous, they assume if you get an award or something, that you are indirectly taking something out of their mouth, out of money, out of their pocket, food out of their mouth, whatever analogy you want to use?
That's the whole zero-sum mentality.
Yeah.
There's not enough for both of us. If you win, that means I'm a loser, and so I don't win anymore. That's how a lot of people think. That's where jealousy comes from.
Yeah. It's unhealthy in a lot of ways.
Mine was weird, though. Mine popped out, and it's a tick of mine. It's a problem in my brain, and I've struggled with it. From a young age, my parents were kids when I was born, basically. Late teens.
Were you from Alabama?
Yeah, they're also cousins. So
very good.
Explains a lot. So,
One Christmas card.
Yeah. So, but there was a lot of, I had jealousy. I was jealous as a child. I remember it. And it didn't pop out till recently because I've done a lot of work. Mental, journaling, reading, putting all the pieces together, therapy. And I don't want to push it off on my mom or my dad, but I was jealous. I was jealous of other kids when they were around my mom. How weird is that?
Would they spend time with her?
Yeah, like, if they were getting more attention than I was. Okay? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm not putting that off on them, but it's something that is a defect in my brain. Well, that went into adulthood. So that went into with relationships with women.
What do you think would have fixed that earlier, if anything? Do you think it could have been?
I feel like the job of parents, and I'm not saying this was necessarily a deficit in my parents, their parenting skills, but I feel like one of the most important things you can do for a child is to make them feel emotionally safe. You never had that.
No.
I never had that.
No.
And when we don't know that, it's hard for us to help other people feel emotionally safe. Like you said, you didn't want to have kids because you didn't want to put them through the same things that you went through.
Scared to death to be my father.
My own kids have shared with me that they didn't feel emotionally safe around me at times. How interesting is that?
Scary.
Not anymore, okay, but there was a time where they didn't feel like they could be themselves. And I think that's one of the biggest things that, for me personally, and what do I know? I'm full of shit, right?
Halfway.
I'm going through life like this just like anybody else, and I'm not a doctor, but I do know that if you can teach your kid how to be independent, that's a gift.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But if you can teach your kid how to be emotionally safe,
how did you do that?
I'm not saying I did. I'm still trying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Have you ever been cheated on by a girlfriend?
No, because the girls I date are so low on the totem pole, they're just happy to have somebody breathing. So I am Brad Pitt to those. No,
I have been.
Yeah, no, I have been too.
I have been cheated on, and so for somebody, and I've done cheating. I've done it. Not in my marriage, not in real serious relationships, but when I would date, when I was really young, I didn't care. Wasn't a committed thing, but I did. And so usually that's the people that when you're committing it, when you're committing the transgression, that's when you project on other people. So sometimes in relationships, marriages and stuff, the one who's always jealous or always thinking about that sort of a thing is the one who's doing it.
Who smelt it, dealt it.
Have you read that before? Have you heard about that before?
No, but it's like it's so true of life. The one that calls everybody else gay turns out to be gay,
right?
Which is okay.
Right.
The one that yes, exactly. The one that preaches against it most is the one that's doing it. Jimmy Swaggart preached against everything, and he was doing a lot of the things he was preaching against. There's a lot of examples of that. So sure, yes.
Yes. So it's up to me. It's not up to my parents, one of which is deceased. That's one of the things that that's where we get stuck as dented cans. I know you still feel like you're owed something, okay, by people who are dead.
Try collecting that debt.
Right. And that's hard because you can't get out of it. And my hope is that you do, and that I do, and that's what this whole channel's for, is we open the door to these possibilities, not just close them, but open the door to, is there a better way to live life? I believe there is.
I do too.
I do. I believe that all the things that we tell ourselves can be overcome.
I just watch what you do, and I do exactly the opposite. And I've been getting better. Seriously. What you said there, the jealousy thing, but I think you really hit on a point about the emotional, what's the word you use, safety, emotional security, whatever it is.
Emotionally safe. Do you feel emotionally safe? So could you be around Russ, your father, who's deceased? Could you ever be yourself around him?
No.
And feel emotionally safe?
No.
Like tender or vulnerable and just say, Dad, I'm hurting right now. I just want to talk to you.
What are you, sissy? It would
Right.
always, I'd just close right up.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
a
my dad was the same way. He's like, oh, you're melancholy. You're emotional. You're like, what? This isn't the Hallmark Channel. What do you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, well, wait a second. You drink because you're depressed.
Yes.
Okay? Mm-hmm. So you smoke just to have that nicotine, that dopamine hit.
Buzz.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So how about shut up and listen? Let's talk as humans. Let's remove all of the anesthetics and let's have a real conversation. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. Even today, that doesn't happen. It's not even happening here. We're not completely dropping our defenses every time we talk because we're afraid of who might be watching. I know I'm guilty of that. So you kind of hold back a little bit. And
I don't really give a shit. I'll say anything I want to say. And I've gotten in trouble for it, too. And I think it's got to come out. And again, maybe it's not all going to come out all the time, but even to start the conversation.
My point is, if we were focused on being honest with ourselves and with others, and we felt emotionally safe to be honest with others, and it was within the boundary of respectfulness, I think that would change everything.
What could we do to others to make them feel emotionally safe around us? Let's make that our positive.
Loosen the lug nuts on their tires. I don't know. I don't know.
I guess I had a vision of that early. Over the years, I have dated women that have had kids. And a lot of guys, I never dated a woman. I like the kids more than I like the woman. And I remember this, I won't say her name. She was 5 or 6 years old, and she was having troubles with her dad. And they were going through a divorce at that age. And just a lot of times we just sit around, and I put my hand on her shoulder. I said, I just want to tell you that I like you, and I like when we get the chance to spend time together. And I could see her eyes light up. And I could say that was the, when you scratch the cat at the right place and the legs, that was what she needed to hear. Little things like that. What can we do? The golden rule. How would you want to be treated? What did you want Larry to say to you? What did I want Russ to say to me that never was said? Can we say that to others? I think we can, even on a small scale. It's going to do wonders.
I'm not jealous of people who have great relationships with their parents. Are you?
That's a good question. I don't know if jealousy is the word. Envious, maybe?
Go ahead. Semantics. That's right. Go ahead. Dodge the question.
Yes, I'm very jealous of them. I wanted that. The first thing I heard from my grandparents as a little kid was, don't do anything wrong, because if you do, we're going to send you somewhere. I'm 5 years old hearing that. That is the first impression I got. The cement in our lives is, I got duck prints in it and cigarette butts, and it's not that smooth, nice cement like it's supposed to be. So yes, I am jealous, and I wish I wasn't. But
and do you think that fuels the contempt that you have in your heart for just certain people?
Oh yes, I know it does.
Right.
Because through no fault of their own, they got it, and everybody wants it, and those of us that didn't get it.
I agree with you. Everybody does want it.
Everybody wants it. You want
validation.
Validation.
Yeah. Like, and then for people who are dented cans, you, me, you want to go back and right those wrongs, you can't. Mm-hmm. So like you did for that 5-year-old girl who was the daughter of some lady you were dating in the past, can you do that for yourself? Can you talk to yourself as the child that lives within you still today and is still very alive in everything that you do and how you interact with everyone to this moment? That child's still there. Are you able to talk to that child?
That child is grounded. He's in his bedroom. He's never coming out. That's a really good point, and I'm not joking about it. I need to start doing that. Thank you. I want to start doing that because I haven't.
Because I have gone back and talked to
Little Max
myself and say, hey, man, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay now. None of that stuff that happened to you is real. It's in the past. It's not happening anymore. But you're robbing the moments of today by reliving the past.
You're a genius.
Genius. The genius is here.
It's how you say it, too.
Right.
So I'm going to look you right in the eye in the camera and say that I really respect you, and I love you, and I thank you for watching. I know Max does, too. And you're okay with us. Thank you.